Well, alright everyone. Yeah, I know it's been a bit since my last video, but I'm gonna continue with explaining different stuff. So today we're gonna talk about development boards and what some of you may know as Arduino boards. Now here I have quite a variety of different boards, from very small to pretty big, and they all have different purposes and features. Uh, these all have been purchased from a local supplier and manufacturer of these, Ground Studio, and I am not sponsored, though I wish I was. And this is just a few of what boards they provide. Now we're gonna start big and end small. First board I have over here, it's a STM32 based board. Now they all can be programmed through the Arduino IDE, which is a different version of C++ actually, but each one of those will need a different library, with except of these two, which have a shared library. So the STM32, it's a pretty common microcontroller. If I'm not mistaken, it's also pretty common in industrial applications because of how powerful it is. And only recently it actually has a competition from the RP Pico here, which you may notice has a few extra stuff. That's just a common thing for Ground Studio boards. But anyways, for advantages and why you may be interested in a STM32 based board. Usually STM32 boards have a lot of power. They are, from the name you can guess, there are 32 bits, so they have bigger capabilities than 16-bit boards like normal Arduinos, and they have a lot of pins, they have a lot of power, they have built-in USB capabilities, as you can see here, hopefully. They don't have any interface for the USB. It's like these ones, where you need to actually convert from USB to UART or something else to be able to program them. They are straight up USB compatible. Now, disadvantages. They can be more expensive, but not always. It really depends on the model and the capabilities. They have I think bigger power draw than these others, especially this one. But overall, the only real disadvantage is the size and power they take, because you may not need all of this power, and also the price may be a point to take into consideration. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the RP Pico is pretty much the only real competitor to STM32 based microcontrollers. And oh, on a separate note, these can usually be found in 3D printers, because just how powerful and capable they are. Now, I don't know of any 3D printers using the RP Pico, but probably you can build one. Now, the advantages of RP Pico, well, are pretty much very similar to the STM32, with only real difference is that I think it consumes slightly less power than this, but it's pretty much the same idea, same power, less actual pins, but it does come with um, you can get these with wireless capabilities, so that may be a point towards this, so you don't need an external module. Now what I have here is what they call the Jade N1 Plus, which is basically an Arduino Nano, uses the same main microcontroller like the Arduino Nano, but it has two extra pins, D22 and D23, and they also use a different USB to UART converter. It's I don't know exactly, it's HT something, I don't know exactly, but it's just your standard 16-bit Arduino. Advantages over this is usually less power consumption, less like less cost per piece, because it's just very mass produced. Like this specific microcontroller, I'm pretty sure you can find basically on every street and be able to build something with it. It has very good support because it's just so common. It's part of the standard Arduino lineup, so it's very easy to program. You don't need any additional libraries. For this model you actually need a separate library for the specific transceiver, but for a normal Arduino Nano you don't need anything extra. It's simple, reliable, cheap. This is what you'll usually find in pretty much most standard projects that don't need any extra power, don't need any extra features, just a simple microcontroller to work. And the disadvantage is that it's just not very powerful. It's very lacking in performance, especially if you want to like drive a display. Like even a small display can be quite a lot for such a small microcontroller. But the advantage is that it doesn't consume much power, and another disadvantage, which it's only if you get really advanced into electronics, but it's something to consider: interrupt pins. It doesn't have too many interrupt pins. Like these two, and pretty much all of the ESP32 lineup, every pin can be an interrupt pin. Here you only have a few, I think like 4 or 6 interrupt pins. I won't go into detail what they are and why you might be interested in them. I can make a separate video on that. Now, up next we have what Ground Studio calls Carbon V3, which is a ESP32 V3, but it's just a standard ESP board. Advantages: it comes with Bluetooth, it has Wi-Fi, it's actually pretty powerful, low power consumption. You can easily integrate these into a small remote project that you might want to be battery powered or solar powered. It's, again, as I mentioned earlier, it has all GPIO pins can be interrupt pins. It uses the same, at least this version from Ground Studio uses the same driver for USB to UART like the Arduino, well, Jade, and it's pretty much the same thing for the Carbon D4. It's a wireless capable Arduino replacement basically. It's pretty common, they're both pretty well documented, they both have very good capabilities. The D4 has more GPIO pins, but not by much, and they're just good overall. You don't even need to get started with an Arduino. You can get started straight up with these and be plenty fine. They are pretty low power consumption, they have good GPIO, you only need one single library which is very well developed and can be coded the same way like standard Arduino. Now to the little guy. Now this guy right here, I'm not exactly sure what it's based on, but I know it's a Adafruit based board and design, and it's a small, lightweight, not very powerful but very power efficient microcontroller. It has quite a few GPIO pins actually for how small it is, and it has your standard buses like everything else. This you'll probably want to put into like a very small, like let's say you want to make a display that, or a clock, just a very small clock you can put on a table and just forget about it and run on battery power for maybe even years. That's what this one is good for. It doesn't have a lot of power, but it's very power efficient and very small. And these are some development boards you can get your hands on, and things that you may want to get started on. Now, what I personally recommend is just get an ESP32 board. They are pretty much the same price as a normal Arduino, but they are way more powerful and have wireless capabilities. And you don't even need to use them, the wireless capabilities, if you can just use them as a normal Arduino. So this is what I recommend for getting started. If you cannot get your hands on these very cheaply, get a normal Arduino. It's always good, always reliable. You don't need to worry about much about it, and you can always find some tutorial for what you're gonna do with it. This, I don't know exactly what's it based on, but I know it's low power and very small. You want to use this in, again, something where you don't need a lot of processing power, just want to be left and forgot about and just work. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually also 32 bits, so basically everything here is, except for the Nano, it's 32 bits. And these two guys, the Pico, if you need wireless processing or wireless capabilities, you can get a Marble, well, not Marble, just a Raspberry Pi Pico, which with the wireless module on it. And if you need more power than these, that could be a very good replacement, or if you need more GPIO. And for the STM32 based one, this is good for something closer to industrial level stuff, or something like a flight controller, for example. I know these are very used in flight controllers for drones. This is where you'll probably want to get into STM32. So yeah, these are some boards that I have laying around and quickly found to throw this video together. And if you have any questions, I will answer them in the comments. And let me know if you want me to do like in-depth reviews for each one of these, and maybe explore some other alternatives that you have found. So yeah, well, see ya everyone, bye.